Hello, welcome to Rafael Technologies again. In this previous video, we have learned how to create the database and store procedure, and with that, we learned how to create our data access layer and business logic layer. In this session, we'll learn how to develop our presentation layer. In interest of time, I already created the presentation layer in my Visual Studio. Let me just go through the all I have created. Look at this. I have created the couple of web pages. With the web pages, I am trying to do the insert, update, and delete operation. Let me just explain the first one, the default page, and in here I just drag and drop couple of text boxes and label control with the submit button and the cancel button. Okay, let me just double click the submit button to generate the event handler. So let me just remind you that in this project, make sure you add a reference from our data access layer and business logic layer. Otherwise, you won't be able to create the instance of the student class in this um, Codebean file. So make sure you add a reference on there. So I just double click the button, the submit button, the generate the button event handler. Here I have created the new student instance. In here the class we created in our data access logic layer class. After that, we are just initializing the student properties without the respective checkbox. After that, what we're doing, we're creating the student handler class, what we have in our business logic class, and what we're doing then with this business logic class, we are just checking if the business logic, if this student handler got this method, then we just returning is true. Otherwise, if it's not found, it will throw an error. If this class have this method, then we will be able to edit the student class from our web page, right? So if it's returned true, then the label message will be the student record is added successfully. So let me just run the default application in my Google Chrome. Let me just show you that we can able to add the student in our SQL database server. So notice that the we have only four records in our database. So I want to add a new student from our the web page that we created. Let me just say Raphael. The address is London, UK, and raphaelchimel.com and telephone number. When you click the submit button, look at that message. It's saying the record is added successfully. Let me show you in database. Notice that we have four records. The moment I click the execute button, look at this. We have the seven record in here, right? So let me show you the the update and list of student method is working as well. I will have the entire code in my blog in case if you need it. In this list of student, we are just drag and drop couple of and creating couple of template places with the enable field. We are passing the student properties in here, student name, student address, and the so on rest of the things. Okay, still if you have any comments, anything, just feel free to leave it in my YouTube channel. So let me just run it in Google Chrome. Look at this, it's able to return the list of students that we created in our previous session. The method we created in our business logic layer and data access layer to return the list of student. So moments we just double click, go to the Codebean file. Look at this, what you're seeing this is just a bunch of code we have created in our review class to delete, update, and to perform the update and delete operation. Okay, let me just show you that how the code is working or not. Let me just click the edit button from here. Look at this, we want to edit this edit this mobile number to, for example, say 4167 whatever it is. The moment I hit the update, it should update the record to the database as well and the web page as well. Look at this, the mobile number we have used to have, this is 89898 and something like that. Then when you click the execute button, look at this, the mobile number is updated. So insert and update is working. Let me show you delete. Look at this message as well. The record is updated as well. Let me show you delete button. The moment I click is redirecting to delete ASPX page with the ID tree. The moment I click this delete button, the record is deleted from the database. Look at this. We won't be able to see this record from our student database. Let me execute the query again. Look at this. You won't be see. We are not getting any the record we deleted from our database. So update, delete, and then insert. Is working perfectly. I want to explain the code I written in my list of student class. Sorry, list of student web page. So let me go to the code behind file. Look what you're doing in here. First, we're creating the student handler. Then in the post page load event, we are just checking. We are finally creating the student handler class, and if it's not post back, we are putting. If it's not post back equal to false, we are just calling this bind data method. Then what you're doing, we're just in this data bind method, we are just the whatever the data source is coming from student handler using the get student list method, and we are just using data bind method into bind into our into a grid view control. So remember the method we created in our data access logic layer to retrieve all the list of student we have in our um, data access logic layer class. So that's how we are getting backward data to our in our post back in our web page. So finally, we are just double clicking the row editing bound. Then in here, we are just in data grid view properties. We are finding the editing the index in here. We are just passing the even e objects. Then we are just saying the edit new index. Okay. After that, after finishing the editing, we are just calling this method whatever the after editing. Okay, if the editing is finished. So after that we have the cancel. If you want to cancel the editing as well, the same idea is row index to minus one, the same thing. Then the row updating method, right? Is this method is a little bit extended. Finally, we are just creating the label and the label ID, and in this grid view, we are just getting the row. Then we are passing this event object in here and find the row index and find the control the label we want to update it in the label ID one as label. After that, we have creating the text box and with the in the grid view control with the find the row the index and find the controllers. And remember this is the name of the text box we just named it in our in our list of in our default in web page, right? Okay, and so this is the rest of the same as well in the same idea. And finally, what we are just checking the if this the level control is null, text box language control is null, fast ID is null. Then we are just creating the student objects and finally just converting the ID of the student to the trim. Then we get just the same idea for the rest of the text box as well. Then what you're doing here, we're just checking this is if the student handler have updated statements is returned to, then it will show the message the record is updated successfully. Otherwise, it will show the record is failed. All right, and let me just go to the delete page. In here, we are just in button click. We are just first we are creating the student handler objects and integer types is returning student now. Then first we are just getting the student ID from the request query objects. Then we are from checking if it's ID equal to null. Then we have to redirect it to default ASPX page. After that, we are try to find the student ID and creating the new student handler in there. And after that, we are doing the student handler. We are just finding all the label and text message in there. In this any exception, it will throw an exception. Then after that, we are just in this button in yes here we are just creating the student handler object and find a delete method and delete the student ID what is present. If it's delete, it is return true, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So this is all about the delete student class. So thank you for listening. Have a great day.